for you to hit that button.
I think it's going.
Okay. Hi, everybody. First, we'll start with a few introductions. So I am Eric Foreman. I'm the principal here at Onaway. Dr. Erin Herbrook was unable to be with us tonight, but she is our Director of Primary Education. We have Eileen Sweeney, who is our Special Education Supervisor for the Pre-K program. Mrs. Kristen Koenigsberger, better known as Miss K, who is our preschool liaison and one of our amazing preschool teachers. And Mrs. Kathy Mitro, who's the Senior Administrative Assistant for Primary Education. So a quick rundown of our evening. We've got introductions, which we can check off the list we just did. And we're going to do a quick overview of the program and the offerings we have in the program. Mrs. K is going to lead us through a day in the life of a preschooler here in Shaker Heights at Onaway. And then we've got time for some Q&A. So we thought it made sense to start with our vision statement for our pre-K program, which is preschool helps children make sense of their world and become lifelong learners by developing thinking, creativity, and social emotional skills.
All right, so this coming school year, we are going to be offering 2 full-day classes. These classes will be mixed ages, and we will have up to 18 students in a class. We're thrilled to let you know that we're going to have the classes run Monday through Friday. At this time, based on our ever-changing landscape, we have not determined the start and end times, but these will be communicated out. The full-day programs are going to be a co-taught model. Now, what does that mean? That means that you're going to have a general education teacher, and their responsibility is to implement the general education curriculum. Along with the general education teacher, there is an intervention specialist. An intervention specialist is a special education teacher, and their responsibility is to co-plan with the general education teacher to implement the curriculum and to make sure that individualized education programs for students with disabilities are implemented properly. They're also in the full day model, there will be paraprofessional support, and the level of support, how many staff we have, will be based on the student makeup in those classes. Our tuition for the year is $9,000. Now, if you are eligible for free and reduced lunches, that tuition will be adjusted appropriately so. And then we use our automatic bank account deduction for the payment across 10 months. Now, our half-day program, we will be having 3 half-day programs. They will again be a mixed age grouping. These programs will have up to 16 students in a class. They are half day. They're only run from Monday through Thursday. Starting and end times, again, like the full day program, we will let you know as soon as we can make a good determination. These programs will be co-taught, and they will also have an integrated model. The integrated model has an intervention specialist as the lead teacher. We have a mixed population of students with disabilities and also students who are just typical preschool learners. These classrooms will also have paraprofessional support based on student needs. The tuition for these classes are $2,000 a year. If you are eligible for free and reduced lunch, the tuition will be adjusted. And then again, the payment is the same as the full day program.
All right, a day in the life. This is the best part for me because I could talk about preschool for days. So I won't, I promise, but I could. So here's what happens in the Shaker Heights Early Childhood Program. we get outside and play. That's for sure. When students arrive, arrival is a time that every student is greeted and welcomed to the day. It's a time for us to learn, safety, holding onto the railing when we go up, because you never know how, if the steps are going to be icy or not. It's also a time to learn life skills. So you can see in the picture there that they're learning to take their own boots off, put their own shoes on, and taking boots off, snow pants, coats it can be a challenge, and it's a great thing for them to learn. And when students learn how to take care of themselves by putting their own shoes on, by getting themselves a glass of water, whatever it happens to be, they gain self-confidence. And what we know about social emotional development is that self-confidence can take kids a really long way. So we work really hard to help them be able to be successful at these kinds of activities. Class meeting. This is not necessarily how every classroom, the breakup of every classroom day, but these are the components that are in every classroom, but just maybe not in this order. Okay, so class meeting is a place for us to start our day together. We always listen to a story. We sing hello. We have a discussion about our current unit of inquiry, and we often do some math, some rhyming, and some thinking. Excuse me. And you can see, so the other thing I guess I should mention before I go on any further is these are pictures of from last year or years past, and pictures from this year. So some of those unmasked pictures are from previous years, not from this year. Excuse me, let me just take it.
From a legal perspective over the last couple of days.
If everybody could mute themselves, that would be lovely. Thank you so much. All right, continue on. Here's our socially distanced class meeting. You can see that these chairs are called cube chairs, and they are an amazing thing because they serve as a chair and as a table. So the kids can turn them over and use them as a table, or they can sit in them and use them as a chair. But what you'll see here is the kids working on some individual work. So each of them in their little boxes have a name puzzle. Now, some of those kids are matching the letters in their name. Some of the kids are spelling the letters in their first name. Some are spelling the letters in their last name. Everybody has an activity that they can be successful with and that challenges them a little bit. In our class meeting, we like I said, we talk about our unit of inquiry, and in the preschool, we are part of the International Baccalaureate, like the rest of the district. And I have been teaching now this is my 26th year of teaching, which is really hard to believe. But this IB curriculum is the most authentic teaching I have ever done. It fits so well in the preschool with their minds that wonder, their eyes that want to explore. This is such a nice match. So we do a lot of that, wondering, exploring, and just thinking out loud about things. The next part of our day is center time. Center time is a time when students get to explore the classroom. This is when they have voice and choice. They get to choose what they want to do and how they want, if they want to create something, if they want to build something, if they want to talk with a friend, they get to choose that during this time. You see this Lego structure here. This young man built a catapult. And I don't really know how far that car went, but I heard that it went pretty high. So that's pretty cool. In the other picture, you see these students learning some math as they're building. So they were making these towers out of pegs. And if you've ever made a tower out of pegs, they don't get very tall before they start to fall over. So they're having to do some problem solving to figure out how to make them continue to stand up. And you can see that they're comparing whose is taller there. And this is a great opportunity for a teacher to say, oh, look, I see that you put 4 purple ones in there, or this is taller than this one. I wonder how many pegs you have all together. These are great ways, great times to expand kids' thinking, to challenge them, to help them problem solve, all these wonderful life skills that we learn in preschool. During center time, kids might have a choice to do some movement, or most classrooms have a movement break of some sort during their day. So here they are on their yoga mats doing some yoga. creating with construction paper, glue, paint, scissors, all that stuff, all that wonderful art stuff is something that is very important to us in the preschool. And we have those supplies for kids on a regular basis where they can access them and do whatever, is they see in their mind. We also provide activities, art activities that are more focused. Like if we're talking about hibernation, we might make a bird. And so we provide, maybe a shape of a bird and the kids can decorate it, or maybe we let them draw a bird. So we do free art where they can explore and create on their own. And we also do some more focused art where we have a goal in mind. Outside, like I mentioned before, it's important for us to get outside every day. And we will be outside. If it's 20 degrees and above, we will be outside. So send them snow pants and boots, hats and gloves, all that good stuff. They love to be outside. And it turns out that in the winter when it's cold and you have snow pants on, the slides go really fast. We've had a couple kids shoot out of the slides this week, and it's been exciting. So we can take our building outside and pack snow together and make something out of the snow. We also find snow in any patch we can find. This next picture here will show you. Oh, look on the side of the road. There we found some more, or the side of the parking lot. We found some more snow. They were very interested in this snow because you can see that some of it's dirty. And one of the kids wondered how it got so dirty. So that, again, led us to a great discussion about, the environment and some of the effects the environment has on snow. The next part of our day is small groups. Now, small groups don't necessarily happen every day, but some of the things we might do in small groups are a math lesson, or a rhyming lesson, or a unit. Like, again, if we're talking about migration, we might do a unit where we talk about what migration means and find different animals, learn about different animals that migrate and why they migrate and where they migrate. These are two of my favorite pictures there. Looking through a magnifying glass just to see the world in a different way. And then one of our units of inquiry is about body parts and processes. And we have this vest that these body parts Velcro onto. And that was one of my good friends. She loved that vest and wore it almost all day and every day. And sometimes you'd find organs laying around the classroom. You'd have to give them back to her. So. All right. We, as part of small groups, we might do some art projects. We do some math. We, as the district is moving to a conceptual understanding of math, so is the preschool. And I would argue that the preschool's been doing conceptual math all along. And that's more about, it's not that that this is the number one, it's more about understanding what one is. So like with kids, and food, particularly, maybe M&Ms, if you said get two, they're going to get two. They know what two is. But if you showed them a number and said, get that number, they might not recognize that number. And that's okay, because they'll learn that as they have more practice and more experience. But conceptually understanding what two looks like. Two is one and one together. That's two. That's what we work for. And this is one way that we do that. We're matching up, counting out objects. And we also do that by setting the table for snack. So if we have 6 kids here, we know we have 6 kids here today. That means, guess what? We need 6 cups. We need 6 napkins. We need 6 snacks. So having them help with the day helps them learn math just as a part of our everyday, lives, which is, again, one of the amazing things about preschool. All right, what's next here? Snack time. We were just talking about snack time. That's just one of the other things you can say. You cut up some fruit, and we don't do this right now during COVID, but next year, if we are able to be, to be able to serve food like this again, we will do this. And the kids know they take 2 apple slices. So they take 2. And, sometimes we get into a situation where maybe somebody didn't take 2 apple slices. Maybe they took more than they should have. And then that meant that somebody else didn't have a snack. That's a perfect opportunity for us to talk about being fair, talk about, the numbers again, and to problem solve. Now, what should we do? Usually we'd have enough snack that we could cut up another apple and it would be fine. But it's an opportunity for us to learn to be, fair, equitable members of a society. Journaling is also a big part of the preschool. We do it in different ways. So the picture of the little boy in the purple shirt, that is a picture of from last year, and he's got I think this was the Friends at School book that he was drawing all of his friends at school, and you can see we have those people colored crayons. So he was using a variety of crayons to color the variety of students that were in his class. And the picture with the little boy in the hat there, this is COVID journaling. So the kids are in their own spots and have their clipboard, so they can be there in somewhat of a socially distanced way, and they can still do their work there. Journaling is a time for us to hear what the kids are thinking about. So we often journal about our unit of inquiry. So like right now we're talking about hibernation and migration. And one of the questions that we asked was, if you could be an animal that hibernates, what animal would you like to be? So that was a great opportunity for kids to think about all the animals that they know of that hibernate and what would they like to be. And I'll tell you, the consensus in my class was they did not want to be a frog because frogs hibernate in the mud. And that did not sound like fun. All right. Then at some point our day comes to an end and it's time to go back home or to the nannies or to grandma's or to wherever they're going. And it's a time for us to, again, kind of practice being safe and being together, being part of a group, and knowing that that means that we have to be careful and mindful of those people in front of us and those people in back of us. And it's also a time for us to, say goodbye and say, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Which is what, right now we're in a hybrid situation. And so the kids are coming 2 days a week. And so when we say goodbye to them, we say goodbye to them for several days. And they are a little sad about that. But they're so happy when they come back the next day to school. So that makes everybody happy. That makes everybody happy. So that is a day in the life of the preschool.
This is me, right? Okay. So just to give you a little rundown of the next steps. So our applications, if you've received one or you need one, those are going to be due by February 16th. They can be found at that website, or if you have any questions, you can reach out to Kathy Mitro directly and we will help you with that. Status of your enrollment will be communicated to families no later than March 5th. That's the timeline we're on right now. Waiting lists are available for families that would like to wait. And last year, we did end up using the wait list a number of times for families that made different choices. And then we had opportunities to bring families off the wait list. And we are hopeful that depending on where we are with our COVID realities, that we can have additional orientations and other activities over the summer to make sure that we are able to hit the ground running in the fall. And I think it is time for some questions and answers. I just want to quickly say I apologize for needing to run now, and Eileen and Kristen will be able to answer your questions this evening. And please reach out if there are things specifically I can answer for you. I am actually headed to our Onaway Little Theater, which some of you who know Onaway well, our Onaway Little Theater has virtual auditions tonight. So I am going there to man the audition room. So it was good to see everybody, and please ask all the questions you have, and looking forward to talking more in the future. Thank you. Take care.
So I want to encourage people to go ahead and use the chat to put in any questions you have. We did offer anybody interested to submit some questions in advance. And Kathy, do you think that since we don't have any in the chat right now, you could go over some of the advanced questions that we received?
Sure. One of the questions was, how will disabilities be handled with our children once they are identified?
So that's a me question. I am the special education supervisor for Onaway. And, a team gathers that is composed of a school psychologist, an intervention specialist, a general education teacher, and any other specialist we think we need to determine their determine needs. And we go through a battery of tests to see if a student is in need of an individualized education program. I'm going to back up for 1 minute. Before we even get there, we conduct screenings as part of the preschool program, you know, to help us understand if we do suspect that someone might have some greater needs that requires special education. So first is the screening, and then possibly an evaluation team report. And then from there, if the student is eligible for special education, we would develop an individualized education program. These would be developed by the intervention specialists, possibly related service providers. And when we said how does it implemented? Well, we had the co-taught classroom with both of the intervention specialists and the general education teacher to be able to implement interventions to support the student in closing whatever skill gap or into work accessing the curriculum. I hope that answers the question. If it doesn't, I can clarify.
Eileen, do you want to answer the questions that are starting to pop up in the chat now?
Sure. So in the chat, we have, what technology is used throughout the school day?
That's a great question. And I'm going to give you the answer of what we've done in the past. And I'm not 100% sure how it might change next year or not. So we in every preschool classroom there is a smart board, and we use that smart board a lot to help you know, to project the class things for the class meeting, to have interactive. That's how a lot of the students sign in every day. They move their picture either by, you know, to say they're here, or to say, or to move it by the letter that their name starts with. So we now have Chrome tablets, which we haven't had in the past. And we also now, because of COVID and our virtual learning, have Seesaw. And we have discovered that Seesaw has many, many great things and is a fantastic way for us to see what kids are doing and what they're thinking. And so it's possible, I think, well within the realm of possible, that next year we would have some of those Chrome tablets out at various points in the day. Now, by no means would they be out all day or used for watching videos necessarily, but might be, you know, using to do a Seesaw activity to make sure, you know, just to give somebody extra practice if they needed something or something like that. So that, I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's my guess. I'm going forward now that we have this technology. We also use a lot of low tech stuff. You know, we're very hands-on in the preschool, manipulative based toys to play with. So we use a lot of low tech stuff, but we use the smartboard and are getting into some more high tech as appropriate in the preschool. Eileen, you're muted still. There you go.
So Chelsea asked, does anyone know if the preschool program will be virtual? And really, we're about 6 months out from really determining where we will be. It is all of our great hope that we will have in-person services. We think children learn the best in person with us. We're excited too that we are getting our shots starting next week. And that's another layer of helping us get to in-person services.
And I would say that what we're planning for is in person, with the thought that you know, may or may not be what happens.
The next question is from Jared. Is there any type of deposit needed to be paid once the student is accepted? Kathy, do you want to answer that one?
There is no deposit. Once you are accepted into the program, we will notify you. You'll get some more information about the program in general in probably early August, with information on your tuition payments, how to set up a what do they call it? A direct deposit or a direct,
Withdrawal.
whatever you have to do to have your bank account charged for the tuition payments, if that's the option that you choose, but there is no deposit required right away.
So the next question comes from Candace. What COVID safety protocols are in place and will this continue for the coming school year?
So one of the COVID protocols that we have right now is we have a reduced number of students in the classrooms right now. And that we don't, again, planning for full face-to-face school in the fall. We at this point are not reducing our numbers for the fall. But if we need to, then we will make those adjustments. Kids are wearing masks. We try to have, be socially distanced. That is difficult when we're playing with toys, but there are lots of times in the day that we are socially distanced. We also try to get outside each day. When we do things like the teachers wear masks and potentially face shields, and we have an air filter in the classroom that's going, and we have the windows open as much as we can, depending upon the temperature. So those are all things that we're doing. We clean, there's a cleaning protocol that we do every day. And so we're following all of those guidelines that are set out by, the state sets out, the CDC sets out guidelines for everybody. The state sets out even more specific guidelines for the preschool program. And so we follow those.
And we also collaborate with the Cuyahoga County Board of Health as well. And it is our hope that we won't need to use them next year, but we all know the reality is we might be dealing with this for some time out, and we would follow all safety protocols. So Chelsea also asked, if the student is on an IEP and does not get into the program due to numbers, will services be given to the student?
Yeah, so it depends on what type of IEP you have. So if you have an IEP that is what we would call itinerant, then that is an IEP where we see the student wherever they are. So be that at home, be that at another childcare, be that wherever they are, we still provide services for that. If the child qualifies for a center-based IEP, then there will absolutely be a spot for them. Now, would it be a full day spot versus a half day spot? That I don't, know the answer to, but they would definitely have a half day spot if their IEP said they were a center-based kid.
Scott asked, for acceptance in the program, is it a lottery system?
Yes, it's a lottery. So we want our preschool classrooms to look like the district does, the entire district does. So we want that diversity in our preschool classrooms. So we will do a lottery system, and we will try and make those classes as diverse as our city is.
So we also have here, Caitlin, presumably 3-year-old kids won't be vaccinated by August. So even if the program is in person, will you be offering a remote option for students who are accepted, but would need to wait to come in person until vaccinated?
It's a great question. And it's a question I don't exactly have an answer to. So, again, the district is planning for face-to-face instruction at this point. But as more information comes our way, as we learn more, because we learn more about this every day, other decisions will be changed, or plans will be changed, adapted, whatever happens. So I don't know the answer to that right now. I'm sorry, but we will get that information out as soon as we do have an answer to that.
I also just want to stress, we're not requiring at this point our students to be vaccinated. I assume you're saying that that is a choice that you are making. So. Kathy, do we have any other questions from the spreadsheet?
Someone had asked about how you handle food allergies and snacks in the classroom.
Food. So the nurse Paula, who is the nurse at Onaway, Nurse Klausner, she is again part of our preschool licensing requirements. She produces a caution list for every classroom, and on that caution list, it tells us anything that we might need to know about a kid. You know, has trouble sleeping, has a peanut allergy, you know, has a hearing loss, whatever it happens to be, sends this caution list to us so we know what allergies are in the class. And so in the past, snack, I'm not 100% sure what snack will look like in the fall. In the past, the half-day program's kind of done snack differently than the full-day program, and we really want some more cohesiveness to our program for it to be just one program. And so we will figure out what our snack policy is. But absolutely, if there's a kid with an allergy in that class, if they have allergic to peanuts, we won't have peanuts in that class. That is absolute. And snack time, again, I'm not 100%, the half day was provided snack, full day brought snack and was provided snack. So I'm not 100% sure what it'll look like in the fall, but there will be some form, if we're allowed, some form of snack, because it's a great time to teach lots of life skills. So the academic calendar, it is the same for the most part as the K to 12. Sometimes at the beginning of the year, there may be an orientation day or two that's different from the K to 4 or K to 12, but it's otherwise the same, with the exception of those half-day classes that are Monday through Thursday.
Doing a little wait time. It's good to let people organize their thoughts.
Kathy, do you have one more question? Am I remembering?
I think you already addressed the start and end times. They're to be determined, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if a child does get accepted as a 3-year-old, are they guaranteed enrollment in when they're 4 the next year?
Yes, once you are enrolled, then you can continue with us until you go to kindergarten.
So we hope.
That's it for the advanced questions.
Okay.
So it looks like I'm hoping that we have at least provided some good information for you tonight. If you come up with a question that we haven't addressed, you feel free to reach out to any of us, either Kristen or me or Eric, or even Erin Herbrook or Kathy, just to be able to make sure you have what you need to base your decisions on. And then keep an eye on Shaker's website for early childhood learning for updates. Are we all good? I just want to also, before we leave, I just want to just introduce Mariana. Mariana is one of our paraprofessionals that work in the program as well.
She makes an awesome bear cave. and with bats hanging in it and everything. So it's a sight.
Hello, everyone. I look forward to meeting your kids next fall.
Thank you for being here. Well, okay, it looks like we're near the end of what our presentation is tonight. We hope to see you in the future.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Do we need to debrief or? Okay, great. All right. Thank you.